You are listening to Socks in the School, an original podcast written, recorded, and edited by Caden Sexton. This podcast was created in conjunction with the Blueprint News Network in Downers Grove. The Chicago White Sox are a historic franchise, founded in 1901 by Charles Comiskey, a team that's currently owned by Jerry Reinsdorf and managed by Tony La Russa. According to BaseballReference.com, the White Sox have the 10th highest winning percentage in MLB history. However, the Cubs have the 6th. Throughout history, people have always called Chicago a Cubs town. The Cubs were founded 25 years earlier and have the more recent World Series win, as well as having the more historic stadium amongst fans. However, baseball is the only major sport to have two teams in the city of Chicago. The Cubs and Sox both have 3 World Series titles, are tied for second worst fan-friendly stadium in the MLB according to Statista's fan-friendly index, yet somehow this city is never able to find an equal. In 2005, the White Sox spent the final 2 months of the season fighting to get into the playoffs, yet the Cubs, who were already eliminated from postseason contention, had almost double the attendance. Last season, both had the same COVID restrictions since they were playing in the city of Chicago, but the Cubs had a 5,000 person higher average fan attendance per game, according to Statista, even though they finished third in their division and the Sox won theirs. Plus, a White Sox ticket was on average $28 cheaper than the Cubs tickets were last season, according to SeatGeek.com. Yet, through all of this, there are still Sox fans, even some that teach at DGS. So I went and found some of the biggest White Sox fans inside of the DGS faculty and heard why they chose the South Side. Now, let's hear from someone who is currently a Sox fan, but has grown up liking both.
I'm an avid baseball fan. I'm an avid sports fan, but I'm a realist when it comes to it. I mean, I'm not throwing things around the house and watching the game, or when they do think bad things, I realize it's just a game and my life's going to go on tomorrow, whether the Sox won or lost. But I'd say I'm an avid fan, but I'm also realistic.
Mr. Schwartz is an example of someone who is in it for the game, but not because he needs the Sox to win for his sanity. Andreka has an interesting story of how he first became a Sox fan.
I became a White Sox fan in around 1973 or so. True story. Okay. So I was riding on the bus to school. I didn't know anything about baseball. My father was a big hockey fan. And so two of my friends on the bus had Cubs hats on. Not knowing any better, I thought that I would get a Cub hat too. So I went out to the store. I asked my mom and grandma to give me a Cubs hat. So they took me to one of the local department stores to get me a baseball cap, and they didn't have any Cub hats. All they had was White Sox hats. Now, back in those days, they were still wearing the red hat. Wearing that hat, and it was kind of a weird. I think it was actually a girl's hat. So I wore it to school one day, very proud, and all of my friends started making fun of me. So that kind of gave me a very poor opinion of Cub fans at that moment.
From that day on, Andreka has always been a fan of baseball, but especially the White Sox. Reagan shows how you can like two teams, as long as they're not rivals.
My husband is from Southern Illinois, and so in Southern Illinois, you either watch the Cubs or you watch the Cardinals because they get Cubs WGN TV. So he was always a Cardinal fan. So when he, came in the scene, my brother said to him, "Are you a Cubs fan?" And he said, "Heck no, I'm a Cardinals fan." And so they're like, "Perfect. As long as you're not a Cubs fan, we don't care. We like everybody except Cubs fans." So I always tell everyone I'm a Sox fan by birth and I'm a Cardinals fan by marriage.
The Reagan's son, Declan, is a Sox fan, Cardinals fan, and Cubs hater, the way his parents raised him. Sobchak tells me of how the family aspect keeps the team in his core.
I have so many good memories. Obviously, the World Series. The World Series happened when I was a senior in high school, so about your age, which was very memorable. That was great. But also, I used to collect autographs. So me and my brothers would go to the games, and when we were younger, and just get a ton of White Sox autographs. So that was a huge part of my life as well. I have a pretty big collection to this day because of it. So I don't know if collecting the autographs, just going to games, even just like having my brothers over nowadays to watch a game, that's all good stuff. I don't know if I could boil it down to a single memory.
Neverly has so many memories of the Sox. From his first game to now, he's someone that bleeds black and white.
Wow, it's probably back in the early 70s. So I'm going to say around 1972. I had to be maybe 6 years old, and it was Old Comiskey Park. And the story is actually phenomenal. So I didn't know baseball until my father took me to a game. So this is when the White Sox were wearing the old red pinstripe uniforms. So they're playing the hated Yankees, and the Yankees have been winning forever. You know, you're talking about 29 World Championships, you know, over their entire span of baseball. And the White Sox are playing the Yankees. Dad takes us to the game. I want to say, I think we were in the upper deck on the left field side, and it was seat cushion night. So everyone who walked in got a seat cushion, and they were just the worst little things that you can sit on. So the Sox are just getting killed. It had to be 11-2. It was late in the game, and there was a close play at third base. Bill Melton tags the guy at third base, tags him out, clearly out. Umpire calls him safe. The crowd erupts, and there had to be, I don't know, as a little kid, you think there's a million people in the stands, but there's probably maybe 20,000. 15,000 seat cushions go on the field. It looked like winter. It looked like winter at Comiskey Park. With that being said, with those seat cushions flying, I did not want to give my seat cushion up. And I had that seat cushion left. Everyone else's seat cushion was on the field. I'm sure the Sox ended up losing, but I thought to myself, gosh, if this is baseball, I am absolutely in. And I've been a White Sox fan ever since. I'm passionate about it. I'm angry when they lose. I'm ecstatic when they win. And I've been following the team for a long time. And 2005 was awesome. We're back and we're relevant. It's going to be an exciting summer.
The White Sox are always given the short end of the stick, from the city, fans, and even national networks continuously failing to recognize the team in Chicago that wears black and white. But the Sox still have devoted fans, and those people know what this team is really about, and they know what we are building, and that it is going to be one of the greatest cultures in the MLB. Music used in Sox in the School came from the royalty-free music website in Campeche. The podcast was written and edited by Caden Sexton. A special thanks to Edward Schwartz, Marcus Andreka, Colleen Reagan, Drew Sobchak, and Tony Neverly for interviewing. Finally, this podcast was created in conjunction with the Blueprint News Network. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.